Sairam, dear children, wish you very good morning and I hope you all are well and going good. So, children, this is the last chapter for your syllabus for first unit test. Okay, so we have to complete it by today only, and I hope you will learn it very well and you will perform good in exams. And all the best for your examination. Before I start the chapter, let's recall Sai and start the prayer. Om. 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 Sai Ram. How the traders became rulers. Okay, who were the traders? The Britishers who came India for trading as a trading company, East India Company, and became the ruler. How they completed this journey from trading company to the ruling power in India. So, children, in this chapter, a story is added. Okay, the children were engrossed in reading the stories of two cats and monkey during the recess, and on reading this story, Jay and Mitali were making fun of each other. Their class teacher, who was sitting beside them, said, "Children, this too is a policy." She said, "This is a policy what the monkey did with the quarreling cats and who take their advantage. The third party always take the advantage of the two person who are quarreling with each other. The British had expanded the empire in India with such a policy." Jay asked, "Sir, how is that possible?" The class teacher replied, "Let us go to the class and there I will explain how the Britishers came to India and how they established their rule over Indians." By the mid of 18th century, the British had started to merge as a strong power on the Indian political horizon. Do they know that the British came to India only for trade? Initially, they took the permission to trade in Indian states, and then how did they become rulers of India? And the history of British rule arouses many such questions. To serve their economic interest, they increased their political hold of India with the use of British diplomatic tactics. Okay, so in this view, we will first study the Wellesley's policy of expansion, that is subsidiary alliance. Okay, children, in our first chapter, arrival of Europeans in India, we have studied about the Battle of Plassey and Battle of Buxar. After the Battle of Buxar, Britishers came to know that they are more powerful than the provincial kingdom of present in India, and the provincial kings were fighting with each other for their personal interest. So Britishers took the advantage from them and used their disintegrity, okay, and take benefit of the situation. Okay, when Wellesley came to India as Governor General, cutthroat competition existed between England and France. Okay, when Lord Wellesley came to India as a Governor General, then there is a competition going in between England and France. So it was necessary to check France for becoming powerful in India. So as to expand the British rule in India, Wellesley introduced a new plan which is known as subsidiary alliance. You all know that not only Britishers came to India for trading. First of all, Portuguese came to India, then the Dutchess came to India, then after them Britishers came to India, and then French came to India. Okay, so Portuguese are settled in Goa only because Britishers are more powerful, and Dutches go back as they have no competition in front of Britishers. Only the France is the only competition for Britishers in India. So as to more powerful than the France in India, Britishers use a new plan and introduced a new plan that is known as subsidiary alliance. So as per this scheme, any princely state that accepted the alliance had to keep and maintain the British army as well as keep a British represented in royal court. So the first condition of the subsidiary alliance is they had to keep only British army, and they have to take all the expenditure of that army, and they have to maintain a Britisher official in their court, so that he can look after that any princely state is not taking any independent decision. Okay, this way the British could maintain their army without spending any money, and this is a trick of Britishers, that they are not spending money on their army, and the foolish Indian princely states, they are fulfilling all the needs of the British army, and finally the British army is capturing their territory from them. However, the princely states were not allowed to utilize their army at their own will. Okay, now the princely state can't use that army also at the time of war. Without any permission from the Britishers, they can't participate in any war, they can't take their own decisions. This system, which made many feel secure in the beginning, and many of the princely states at the beginning feel they are secure, made them feel enslaved and threatened. Okay, after that they feel that they are slaves, and they feel threatened because they themselves became the slaves of the foreign power. Subsidiary alliance acted as a slow poison for the princely states of India. Subsidiary alliance is known as slow poison also, because at the starting it feels very secure. All the princely state feels that British power is with us, so no another princely state can defeat us. Okay, but they don't know that their own state becomes the slaves of the British Empire. The Indian state that becomes the victim of subsidiary alliance war. These are the states' children who adopted the subsidiary alliance, that are Hyderabad, Mysore, Ayodhya, Jodhpur, Gaikwads of Vadodara, and Peshwas of Pune and Sindhyas of Gwalior. These are the victims, those accepted the subsidiary alliance. The Nizam of Hyderabad was the first victim of Wellesley's subsidiary alliance. The Nizam of Hyderabad was the first person to accept the subsidiary alliance, and then it was Mysore and Ayodhya and Tanjore and Karnataka met with the same fate, and the British made the Marathas fight among themselves, and consequently made them accept the subsidiary alliance. Marathas first fought with the Britishers and not accepted the subsidiary alliance, and finally they also accepted that subsidiary alliance. Okay, subsidiary alliance means you have to maintain your state under British Empire, okay, and according to the will and rule of British Empire. Owing to the losses incurred by Nizam in his fights with Marathas, he was forced to accept this alliance. As Nizam was defeated by the Marathas in war, so he accepted the alliance, and Tipu Sultan of Mysore refused to do so. But after the British victory in the 4th Anglo-Mysore War, from Mysore, Tipu Sultan refused to do so, but in the 4th Anglo-Mysore War, he was defeated and died. Mysore was forced to become a subsidiary state. After death of Tipu Sultan, the state of Mysore accepted subsidiary alliance. Maratha chief fought amongst themselves after the death of Nana Fadnvis. After death of their leader, Maratha leader Nana Fadnvis, they also accepted subsidiary alliance, and one by one all the Maratha states became victim of divide and rule policy, and British imposed the divide and rule policy on them and give them a little bit promises and divide them on some selfishness. Okay, make them a little bit selfish, that you become the next Peshwa, like that. Means Britishers, what they did, they break the unity of the Maratha states and give them greed to become the Peshwa. Okay, in this way they divide and rule the Marathas, and